We started our journey from Toronto Pearson Airport, and when we reached at the airport, there was no one at there. We have never seen such an empty airport, but yes, we could saw there was an officer who was waiting for the people, and he was guiding like you have to go through the elevators. So it's almost empty. We were three members who were traveling to India, and then we took our luggages. We had two bags per person allowed as per Air India guidelines. So we reached at the airport, and then we took the elevators, and then we went to the lobby area, which is the main floor, and there was a long queue for check-in process. Yes, there were members of the Air India team or Air Canada team who were helping the members to stay in the queue, that you have to follow these guidelines, and they ask you to leave. Only the passengers will be going through the queue, and everybody else has to leave immediately from the same thing. And the check-in process almost took us 2 to 3 hours. So make sure, if you are traveling with your parents or your family or your kids, then you have to make the necessary arrangements, and you should be ready that that process gonna take for long. We could see everybody, most of the parents were traveling, everybody was wearing mask and face shields, which is very recommending, guys. You should carry your own face mask and your gloves plus your face shield. So we started from there, and then once we reached to the counter, they were only allowing the individuals to stand at over there. And if you have a family members, they were doing the thermal scan process. There was few members who were going to each and every passenger doing their temperature check. They will take the notes, they will take your passport details and on the papers which they had, and then they were giving stickers which you have to put on your passport. This was the temperature and thermal check process at Toronto Pearson Airport only. And after that, so we reached at the counter, and then we left our luggages over there. Okay, and they didn't really bother us for the weight of the bags or something, but we luckily we only had 23 kgs per bag. But support this staff was really supportive, and they didn't really bug for anything. They were helping us with the process. So they gave us those boarding pass, and we had to go to the waiting area. So here everybody was just waiting for the boarding process. It took us almost 1.5 hours to 2 hours, and yes, we could see the stress on people's face, but they wanted to go to country, so even we were okay with that. Yeah, and then finally we reached to the queue. They were maintaining the 6 feet distance. They asked us to stay close who are traveling together, and stay away from the other passengers if they are standing in the queue. And in the flight, the seating arrangement, of course they couldn't change it. We heard the rumors that okay, there will be one only two people or one people will be sitting there, but no, this the whole flight was full. People were wearing mask all the time, and they were having face shield. There was nice arrangement. Once we reached over there, we don't have any complaints. This was a regular flight. And yes, food and water arrangement, they have given us ready-made packages for the food, which like we once you reach to the seat, you will get it over there. You could carry your own foods, which we already did. So I would also recommend that, guys, you should carry your own food while traveling. They will give you water, but you will not get any other service during the flight until unless you have an emergency over there. So this was the package which we had for the flight. I didn't like the food, but it's okay, I won't complain, of course. And then once we reached to the Delhi airport, finally there was very nice sitting arrangement was done by army officers and of course Indian government. I really appreciate those guys did such a nice arrangement so that we could sit on the chairs and we could just wait for our turn to come. They were guiding everybody with the process. You can see like there is an army officer there is who is assigned to each and every individual once you reach over there, and they will guide you. So then there is a state-wise arrangement at the end, and once everything is over, they will take your details, and then they're gonna guide you that do you want to stay at the hotels, or do you want to take self-isolation. So at that time they're gonna take your medical details and every information, and then they will guide you with the process. So we choose like okay, no, we want to go home because we had a facility available at our place. So they were okay with that, and
ये
they
आपने अलग
they
अलग
let us
बुक
go.
किया है इसका कुछ
सेम ही ग्रुप में है, आप लोग सेम ही
ओके
ग्रुप में है, नंबर अलग है, सीरियल नंबर अलग है।
ओके